So when we talked about original sin, I foreshadowed that we were going to talk about Jesus. And this is kind of a two-parter on that, because today we are going to talk about the Son of God, that is Jesus Christ. But we're not going to quite get to justification yet. We're not going to quite get to how he deals with that original sin, that problem that we're struggling with. Today, we're the third article of the Augsburg Confession is concerning the Son of God, and it's teaching a lot of what the creeds talk about. You know, we talked about the creeds. If you haven't seen those videos, go back and watch them, because they're kind of a good foundational statement of our faith. But what we confess, what we believe, is that Jesus Christ is the Son of God, is God, but that he was born as a human being. And we said, well, you can't be 100% God and 100% human. That doesn't work. Well, who are we to tell God how he can and cannot work, is kind of my response to that, you know. But it's something that you can't really drill down and understand, and I think we get in trouble if we try. There are a few things when it comes to faith that when we try and nail down exactly how it works, we're trying to understand the mysteries of God, and we can't. And when you try and force it, a lot of times I think you make mistakes, which I'm sure we'll get to as we walk through this book. So this talks about that Christ is divine and human, but then it kind of goes into a summary of the story of Christ. It says he was born, suffered, crucified, died, and was buried to be a sacrifice not only for original sin, but for all other sins, and to conciliate God's wrath. So he died to kind of, this isn't a perfect way to understand it, but to kind of absorb God's wrath at our sin and our imperfection. It goes on, he then descended into hell. He rose from the dead, like fully rose from the dead. There's some people say, oh, only a spirit rose, like they'll try and qualify it. He rose from the dead, period. In order to rule and reign forever over all creatures, so that through the Holy Spirit he might make holy, purify, strengthen all those who believe in him. And then it says he's going to come again to judge the living and the dead, which that's something, some of this stuff we're going to kind of leave open-ended for future looks through the Book of Concord. And then it rejects all those who are opposed to this. So we drill down, and where are some places that this is an important article of our faith today? Well, one very, very easy place is those who would say that Jesus Christ was just a good teacher. No, we believe and confess that Jesus Christ was God, is God. So when people say, oh, he was just a good teacher, which creates its own set of problems, right? Because Jesus Christ claimed to be God. And the reality was, there's a book, I'll link it in the comments. I don't remember the title. I have it in my library, and I know it has like monotheism in the title, so I can look it up and put it in the comments. But Jewish monotheism at the time was incredibly strict. So for him to claim to be God, he either had to be God or had to be crazy. Like, he couldn't be a good teacher of morals and claim to be God. That was antithetical to the faith that he professed. So when people claim Jesus is anything less than God, we deny that with our faith. We believe that he was God, and in reality, if he wasn't God, none of it matters, right? Because if he wasn't God, he didn't have the power to do what we needed him to do in regards to our sin. So we stick to this belief we have, this knowledge we have, that Jesus Christ was fully human and able to identify with us and able to commiserate with us, but was also fully God, which means he was able to accomplish everything that he accomplished. So that is Article 3 of the Augsburg Confession. If you have questions, if you have comments, if you have concerns, please drop them in the comments below, and I will do my best to get to them to answer them. So with that, brothers and sisters, go in peace. Serve the Lord. Thanks be to God.